son, nephew, young man, let me holler at you. First of all, this video is going to be about what you call situational awareness. Rule number one, as far as your body language, carrying yourself as a man. Always look men in the eye. Look everybody in the eyes. Now, does that mean you need to stare at them, stare through them, mean mug? No. What you do need to do is, one, make eye contact. Number two, some type of indicator. And maybe, if you're a northerner, you might not be able to do this like we do down south. But we speak to people we don't know. Number one, that's saying I'm non-threatening. Now, if you're from a place where, or if you're up north where speaking to people who you don't know is kind of socially awkward, you can still keep your hands out of your pockets. I don't know if the what's up nod is okay. You can do that. You can also keep distance, which I recommend you do anyway with people you don't know. But all these things are saying, number one, I see you, and I'm paying attention to what's going on. Number two, I don't want no smoke. Now, I'm going to touch back on that topic in just a little bit, because at the age I'm at now, I know how to handle myself well, but the wise thing, the smart thing is, hey, I don't want no smoke. I ain't got time to be fooling with you youngsters. I ain't got time to be fooling with you people who are my age and still fools. And I definitely ain't got no time for no old man who, for whatever reason, is wanting to prove some type of point. And I've had that happen a couple of times, sort of. I'm gonna tell a couple of stories to go with this. All right, so number one, look people in the eyes. Number two, present yourself as masculine and being able to be a threat, but being non-threatening. So what do I mean by that? Keep your hands out of your pockets. Maybe a what's up nod, keep on going. Be smiling and giggling. But here's something that you young men these days kill me with. I don't care how big and strong you are. When you get caught doing this, you're making yourself a target. The world ain't getting friendlier, ladies and gentlemen. You're making yourself a target when you're not paying attention to your surroundings. Military, law enforcement, they call that situational awareness. And just in case you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to be like no police or no military, I ain't no snitch. First of all, yes you are. Most of y'all are. The vast majority. Hell, y'all get on the internet and the radio and y'all snitch on yourselves. So I don't even want to hear that. You ain't committing no crime to where you have a need to lie on somebody to get out of it. That's a quote unquote snitch. But anyway, the gangs send people to the military. And just in case you one of those people who like to be biased towards whatever race, it ain't just the black gangs. That's MS-13, Area Nation, all of them. I told you before, don't do that. I'm a black man and I'm gonna stand up for my black people. Do not play like that. Anyhow, people who feel the need to move in a fashion where they may have something to protect, or in their case, because I'm not an offensive-minded person, but the tactics that you see now, look at these home invasions, where you got 4 men going in a column with rifles. They got body armor now. Them guys ain't learned that on the street. Now, granted, a lot of us folks down south, we're taught to use weapons to hunt and so forth and so on. And if you're down south, you understand that. But even still, when you see those type of tactics, they come from the military and the police. Because you got policemen that are gang members too. Look at them at the police gangs that have been caught in Los Angeles, and they exist everywhere. Now, back to my point. Situational awareness. Get your head out that cell phone. Get yourself a watch so you know what time it is, and you know what day it is. Don't lose track of time. Think about where you are, what you're saying, what you're doing. Is it appropriate for where you are? How you dress matters. Do you really need to wear all that jewelry? Do you really need to be trying to show off how much money you have? I drive a regular truck. The police rarely care what I'm doing. I don't have some big rims. I got tools in the back. I don't have the freshest paint job. Maybe down the line later on in life that might be something necessary, but right now this is all I need to get me from point A to point B and get some tasks done. Do you really need to be in your Charger or your Hellcat flying around drawing attention? Why are you drawing attention to yourself to begin with? If you're listening to the Renaissance man and you got your head up and you're paying attention, are you watching who's watching you? That's the big thing. I don't care if it's your neighbors, somebody you think you trust, people you don't know, whatever. Who's watching you? Especially when you're leaving to go to work, even when you come home. At this point in life, why a person wouldn't have cameras on their house is beyond me, but you need to get those. Pay attention to what's going on around you. There's a crowd gathering. Now, I know y'all young folks, you like to see what's happening when the crowd gathers. Let me give you a piece of advice. Go around it or go the other way. Ain't nothing good happening in that crowd. I got an uncle who died in a nightclub. I hate nightclubs. I'll pass. You keep that. You see somebody fighting, somebody arguing, go the other way. Especially if it has nothing to do with it. Get on somewhere. Mind your business. I made another video about that. Mind your business. And keep your mouth shut. The main thing about situational awareness is let's just break it down on a simple level. You're being aware of your current situation. Here's one a lot of people don't think about. And it's sad. It's very sad. But you got people who shoot at folks in other cars. Every now and then, it's okay to stop and look around you. Remember, same rule with the eye contact. You make eye contact with somebody, you don't have to do a menacing glare, but you can at least let people know that, one, you're paying attention, and number two, actually pay attention. Here's another thing to think about. Your posture. Don't walk around like a defeated man with your head down, with your shoulders slumped over. Just like the military says, chest out, chin up. If you don't lift weights, I don't know if you're just trying to fit in them skinny jeans, or I don't know. You better get your tail in the weight room before you have an actual situation take place and you don't have the strength to take care of yourself, let alone work and get daily tasks done. But you need to be physically fit. I don't do drugs, but I know some of y'all do. Some of y'all have these recreational vices. And then maybe you drink. Okay, cool. But where you are in that particular situation, can you afford to be high? The Bible says to be sober and be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, rolls around like a roaring lion, looking to see who he can devour. And in the book of Proverbs, it says, it's Proverbs 31, the first half. See, it don't start talking about virtuous wife. It starts talking about men first. It says, do not give yourself to strong drink and to ways which destroy kings. Do you really need to be high all the time? I'm going to go ahead and tell you no. But okay, if that's what you do you need to be high at that moment and in that location? You need to think about it. The people you're hanging around, what they got going on in their life. They live a lifestyle where what they're doing can affect you. And if it's the way that's so negative, where you are in danger, or your family's in danger now because you're associated with these people, you better start making some better choices in who you hang around and why you're around them. Leaving your location on Facebook, you're asking, to me, you're asking for trouble. I would suggest you do those check-ins when you're on your way back home, or you do your check-in really a day later, do your little pictures or whatever if you just feel the need to do it. You know, if you want to show your celebration or your event or that time in life, fine, but don't do it while you're not from home. Now you're broadcasting, hey, I'm not at home. Vulnerable members of your family, do you really need to post their faces? Does everybody need to see what they look like? Maybe, maybe not. The ways you defend yourself, people need to know all of them. People really need to see your house. And I'll give you another hint. Throw misinformation out there. Have people thinking you live somewhere else. Have people thinking that you don't have what you do have. Nobody needs to, like if you know how to play cards, you keep your cards to your chest. You don't show what you have. And that's in anything. Everybody doesn't need to know everything. Let me give y'all young boys an old school rap lyric from Jadakiss. I tell you what I want you to know. F what you ask. You ain't got to answer everybody's questions. These jokers be trying to set you up and undercut you and all kind of stuff. They don't need to know everything. I don't care what the question is that's asked. You answer in the method that's most situationally to an advantage for you. Matter of fact, there's a military term for that as well. Operational security. Everybody doesn't need to know things. You tell people what you want them to know on a need-to-know basis. If they don't need to know, you don't need to share. Everybody ain't your friend out here. Stop being so doggone friendly. I'm not saying be a body part, but I am saying, look now, don't trust everybody and don't trust them so quickly. Develop friendships over time. Let some things that happen where a person has the chance, you know, I'm not saying get into bad situations, but you let people prove that they're trustworthy and that's who you need to be around and so forth and so on. You know, everybody's not your friend, man. And I realize some of you are genuinely good people. Especially, you know, if you were like raised by your mom or something like that, you know, you probably try to see the best in everybody. But you got to watch people just like they snakes. If you ain't, you know, if you're not in your yard with an actual snake, okay. And you have to give snakes the ability to roam around freely, okay, cool. But you know it's a snake and it can bite you, just in case. Till you're sure that's not a snake or it's not venomous. Might not be the best analogy, but you know what I mean. Last but not least, and there's men who know how to handle themselves. I always ask on this channel, put it in the comments, because you don't know who's watching who can use this information. Look, you ain't got to be going around trying to prove points. As a matter of fact, when you do that, you make yourself a target in a different way, in a bad way, because there's always somebody bigger and badder than you. But look, There's nothing wrong with not wanting to smoke with the next man. One thing I do, I call people sir and ma'am, even if they kids. Why? Because I always hear people say, oh, well, you got to give respect to get respect. Okay, I go out of my way to be respectful on purpose. Even if, some people in other parts of the nation, again, that's kind of a southern thing too. When we say sir and ma'am as a term of respect, you'll have people come and say, well, don't call me that, you're making me feel old. Because see, here's another thing. When you're on your job and stuff like that, all that hashtag Me Too stuff, if you keep it at ma'am, well, it's kind of hard for ma'am to be like, well, he was hitting on me. No, ma'am. Because I always refer to you as ma'am and always keep it professional. One example. But just in general, I call people sir. If I'm getting too close to somebody's space, I say, excuse me. Somebody's walking on this side of the sidewalk, hey, you can have it. Now I still look them in the eye, still head up, chest out. But you know what? Hey, we ain't even finna, there's not even finna be a chance for you to feel disrespected. Not on purpose, at least. Somebody speeding behind me, look, I'm gonna get over. You go right on by with your Charger, your Hellcat, or your Nissan Altima, or your jacked up truck on the, I don't care nothing about none of that. You want to flip your middle finger while you driving? Okay. Go right on the head now. You pull that road rage stab. I'm not telling you be no punk neither. I didn't say that. I didn't say just let nobody handle you. So I mean, if somebody really wants to do the road rage thing, I guess. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you the best response I've given people. I'm going to give you some situations and I'm going to tell you how I responded. Let me see. I'm going to try to go back as far as I can because I started doing this once I became an adult. I don't have people just run down on me. I might have people start to do this. Matter of fact, there's a commercial from Tim Duncan at a car dealership, and they were trying to give him this high price and sell him this extra stuff. He just stared at him. Tim, can I have your autograph? He stared at him. A couple of different situations passed, and he just made the Tim Duncan face. No emotion, just stared. When you look a certain way and you look serious and you don't look like somebody who's willing to be played with and bullied, people don't try that stuff. But in the event that it does, 9 times out of 10, chin up, chest out, no response, jokers move on about their business quickly. Now, I must say, this is my personal opinion. I do believe that with whatever type of training you get in taking care of yourself, it does give you a different type of confidence. You get in that weight room, it gives you a different type of confidence, so you ain't making it up when it happens. But you don't have to go back and forth with people verbally. Mind your business, go where you need to go. Be aware of your surroundings. Say what you need to say. Be around who you need to be around. And that way, in my opinion, life is much safer, because now what you're doing, you're preventing problems before they happen, and it causes you to have less problems. But by being situationally aware and paying attention to those situations, start planning if a situation could happen. So this person's looking like they want to cause problems. Okay, first let me, hey sir, how you doing? Keep it moving. But okay, if something begins to formulate, you should have already thought in your mind what you should be doing and how you can respond legally. And that goes with anything in life, because the situation ain't got to just be a self-defense or a social situation. You need to be budgeting your money. You need to be managing your time. You need to even be managing your energy and your effort that you give towards people. That's it, man. Situational awareness. 9 times out of 10, if you just are aware of what's happening, you can either A, avoid stuff, or B, plan on how you're going to deal with said situation. But I tell you what, if you fail to prepare, then you're basically preparing to fail.